by Davinson Sanchez. Cordova tries to hold it up on the edge of the Uruguay penalty area. The Uruguayans all in white this evening. Their change strip as Colombia wear yellow shirts, blue shorts, and well, it's orange accents across the kit, including the entirety of their socks this evening. Colombia with Davinson Sanchez in possession in the right back position inside the Colombia half. That's laid off to the goalkeeper Camilo Vargas. It's a long one lifted forward. It's flicked off the head of Sebastian Caceres, but drops here into midfield through Ugarte. Now forward from Caceres down the right-hand side. Peristri was looking for the ball. It's a one in midfield, well by James Rodriguez. Left-footed ball over the top. Compared by his manager Nestor Lorenzo to David Beckham, who in many ways for England was a luxury player, and a wonderful set-piece deliverer and crosser of a ball. Munoz gives it away inside his own half of the pitch, and Uruguay threatening on the edge of the penalty area down the left-hand side with Araujo, but flag goes up quickly on the far side. Marcelo Bielsa already animated, as he so often is, on the edge of his technical area. Took a little bit of time to bed into the Uruguay job, but that historic rivalry with the Argentinians has been put aside with Marcelo Bielsa now in the dugout, bringing his own unique brand of football to one of world football's most historic international sides. Davinson Sanchez will stride forward from the edge of his penalty area. Nunes on his shoulder now as Sanchez launches it crossfield out to the left-hand side as Luis Diaz tries to back into Caceres and makes it awkward for the Uruguay centre-half. It will float out of play, though, for a Uruguay throw-in. Colombia will win it back. Laid off to Carlos Cuesta, who will just wander forward. Prods one towards the right-hand side. Here's Munoz. Laid off to Sanchez. Early ball down the right flank. Scrappy opening exchanges. It was Jean Cordova. Borre started the first game. Cordova's come in, and he's scored a number of goals already in the tournament, which has made it very difficult for Nestor Lorenzo to leave him out. Ball on the halfway line with Uruguay. Bentancur out to turn. Flicks that forward to De La Cruz, who has to slip this back under pressure. Colombia step up towards the edge of the penalty area. The Uruguay boxers. Ugarte will slip it past the press to the left-hand side for Araujo. Loose pass in field. That's been picked up by Jefferson Lerma. Out to the left-hand side. Bursting forward goes Johan Mojica. Laid off by Diaz, and now Lerma. Looks for Diaz again. Pass under hit, and that's been intercepted in midfield by Nicolas De La Cruz. Powerful challenge. Colombia pressing forward. And it's round this right-hand side with Richard Rios. It's off Ugarte. Throw-in will be Colombia's down the right-hand side. Rios, a feisty competitor in the heart of midfield, the Palmeiras central midfielder. Daniel Munoz will take the throw. Big night for Crystal Palace. 4 players in the final of the European Championships, and now 2 here in the semi-final of the Copa America. Prodded forwards, and that's good bustling work from Davinson Sanchez, who goes lunging in, and it's a fair challenge, says the referee. Allows play to continue, but eventually will pull it back as Colombia thought they won it fairly. It's Matias Oliveira left on the deck. Just a little bit too physical from Jon Arias. And Davinson Sanchez initially, it was Arias that was pulled up for the second challenge on Oliveira. Ugarte will hoist one cross-field out to the far side, nodded down well by Mojica. And here come Colombia, surging down the left. It's a bit of a cul-de-sac, though, run into by Mojica. But Uruguay have wanted out of play on that far side. Colombia with the throw midway through Uruguayan territory. Up to the edge of the penalty area. Fizzes to Cordova, who tries to pull the trigger. It was John Arias in the end with the effort. Cordoba with the hold-up play on the edge of the box. And tried that little early snapshot, did John Arias. Plenty of power, but no placement. Pretty busy Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina for this semi-final. A couple of the group stage games were pretty empty, and it wasn't a great look for the tournament, but the crowds have grown as the football has developed and got even more engrossing. Mujica is having to focus here too, and that's really well done by the Osasuna fullback. Tried to find Luis Diaz on the halfway line. Colombia battling for it aerially. Jefferson Lerma was jumping there with Rodrigo Bentancur. Fede Valverde won't win it. Inside the Colombia half and into the feet of Davinson Sanchez, fall to the edge of the centre circle. Arias under pressure, slips it back again to Davinson Sanchez, who will slow to a walking pace. It's a warm evening in the southeast of America. Long from Sanchez to the edge of the box, just away from Cordoba, and into the hands of Rochette. As we suspected in the opening stages, a little bit cagey. Many people have earmarked this as the potential game of the tournament so far. And Colombia pressing high here and doing really well. It's Daniel Munoz with his trademark surging run down the right-hand side. Good challenge from Oliveira. Munoz bounces back to his feet quickly to collect the ball for the throw-in and tosses this in. It's Arias, tries to prod it towards James Rodriguez, who's been on the periphery for the opening 7 minutes. On ball from Sanchez, up to the edge of the penalty area. Ugarte can chest it down and tries to lift one out towards the right-hand side, and Parisi just eased Mujica underneath the flight of the ball. Uruguay with possession inside the Colombia half, but they've returned to their own side of the pitch, and it's all the way back to the goalkeeper Rochette. Edge of the penalty area to Manuel Ugarte. Flick to the left-hand side. Oliveira can't squeeze it forward. It's been a wonderful set of performances from Colombia, but can't please everyone. As with Gareth Southgate in England's shoes, Néstor Lorenzo has had his fair share of criticism through the tournament, mainly through his selection. When taking over the job, his first port of call was James Rodriguez, who at the time had just been left out of the 2021 Copa America squad. He returned from the relative wilderness in the Middle East on the request of the international manager, took a pay cut to go and play for Olympiacos, returned to the international side where he's been shining again in the famous primary colours of the Colombia national team. It's with Davinson Sanchez inside the Colombia half, forward into the centre circle. Arias just trying to work his way back into the relative safety of his own half, almost overran it. Davinson Sanchez had to go sprawling, sliding in. Will clear it in towards the Uruguay penalty area. There's Jimenez. Long ball downfield. It's a good touch from Araujo, but Daniel Munoz read it well and puts it out of play for a throw-in down the left-hand side for Uruguay. Munoz made his debut for Crystal Palace against Brighton. It was a thumping defeat against their rivals on the south coast, and Munoz did look a little bit overawed that evening, but went from strength to strength after joining the Eagles and has become such a crucial player for them and for Colombia. He's actually the joint third top goal scorer in the tournament with 2 goals, has an assist as well, the fullback. He's done well to win his side a throw. Munoz just into Arias on the halfway line, slips it forward to Rodriguez, back inside to Arias, who tries to ghost past Bentancur. It's Luis Diaz holding the ball up on the edge of the penalty area, clips it towards the back post. It's just too far away from Cordoba, who peeled off his man. and tried to catch up with the flight of the ball. Wonderful work from Luis Diaz. The pass came rattling into him with heat. He's held on to it well, and despite the attentions of 3 or 4 Uruguay defenders, still floated a tantalising ball in the vicinity of John Cordoba. De La Cruz tries to lift it over the top for Peristri, but I suspect that if that had been anywhere near him, it would have been offside anyway. Instead, it's with the goalkeeper, Camilo Vargas. Left-hand corner of the penalty area with Carlos Cuesta. The Genk centre-half will just wander towards the halfway line. Luis Diaz has dropped deep to collect it from the defenders. Diaz riding challenges, will turn it into the Uruguay possession, but he's been helped out by Cesar Ramos, the referee, who's blown the whistle. The free kick will be Colombia's. Across from Cuesta to Davinson Sanchez, flicked wide to the right. He's Richard Rios. All the way back to Vargas. David Ospina, the record cap holder for Colombia, is on the bench alongside Alvaro Montero, who he was called into action the last time these two met back on the 12th of October 2023. It was a 2-2 draw. Darwin Nunes with a 91st minute equaliser from the penalty spot. Ball slipped in behind. Will they get onto this? No, it's too far away from Araujo. Yeah, that day in Barranquilla. Colombia let the lead slip late on, and there was a red card for Camilo Vargas, which meant Alvaro Montero was forced into action very, very late on. This is a good run from Carlos Cuesta, who's been allowed to make 50 or 60 yards into Uruguay territory. The pass in field to Luis Diaz was lacking, though, and the Uruguayans have won it back pretty easily. That's backwards sharply towards Sergio Rochette, who's scooped it straight up in the air. It's bouncing towards the byline. They've managed to get it clear, Uruguay, but look a little bit shaky in the early stages at the Bank of America Stadium. Thrown will be Colombia's. Tossed down the left-hand side, darting in field. Here comes Diaz, lays it off to Arias. Centre circle and prodded forward by Rios. To Luis Diaz on this right flank now. Tries to shuffle it back to Rios. That was a little bit short, and De La Cruz can get a toe to it for Uruguay. Wants the decision from the referee. It's not going to get it. Colombia with the throw. Marcelo Bielsa on his trademark cooler. Sat down on the edge of his technical area. His opposite number, Nesta Lorenzo, pacing along his line as he tries to dish out as many instructions as possible in the brief break in play. Colombia got the ball down the touchline, but they gave it away temporarily, though. One back. Good work from Daniel Munoz. Scooped out to the left-hand side by Arias. Luis Diaz with a kind break of the ball, still in possession to the byline. Lifts one left-footed deep towards the back post. It's Daniel Munoz. He plants his header towards the far post, and it's just wide, with Sergio Rochette only able to turn and watch in hope. He's been in fine goal-scoring form with the tournament and found a wonderful position. Just came flying over the top of Max Araujo. Daniel Munoz has turned himself into a really potent goal threat for Colombia at this Copa America. It'll be fascinating to see if that translates in the Premier League in a few weeks' time. Ball to the left-hand side. Here are Uruguay trying to get forward, which should be for the first time this evening. It's tenacious work from Araujo to try and just spear it into the penalty area, but there's no one there. Nunes 10 or 15 yards away. Camilo Vargas, the Colombian goalkeeper, clad all in purple, lays this at the feet of Davinson Sanchez, who has time to pick his ball 70 yards downfield towards Cordoba. The header down is dropped here for James Rodriguez from Ugarte. Colombia maintained possession with Jefferson Lerma. 35 yards from goal, decides to try and hit one. The space opened up, they backed away from him. He was within his rights there, Lerma. Scored from a similar distance against Crystal Palace for Bournemouth in the season prior to joining them last year. Does have it in his locker, Lerma. Potentially why he was preferred to Mateus Uribe. And Uruguay almost gave it away inside their own half. This time they've managed to float it out towards the left-hand side, while Darwin Núñez will chase after it, but looks to his right, and there is the flag of Alberto Marin held aloft. It's pretty clear in the end as well. Cuesta. Cuesta to his left for Joan Mojica. Darts in field, and that's really well done. And he's still going, Mojica. That's taken a robust challenge, to say the least, from Caceres to stop him in his tracks. Colombia wanted the free kick. Referee says he won the ball, Caceres. But Colombia will take the consolation prize of a throw-in. On this right-hand side, last touch off Nicolas de la Cruz. And I think the referee's changed his mind. In fact, it will be a throw-in won by Nicolas de la Cruz for Uruguay. Here he is in the centre circle. Nice little cute back heel. Finds Valverde in behind Núñez. It's just wide of the far post. It's a superb first touch from Darwin Núñez. Sets himself up deliciously on his left foot. Was waiting for the bottom corner to bulge, but it's just narrowly wide of Camilo Vargas' right-hand post. Cuesta just turned, tried to tug out at Darwin Núñez, who shrugs him off. Just can't apply the finishing touch for Uruguay. They've been absent as an attacking force so far. That's the first chance they've really created, and it should be the opening goal. Colombia have been playing with confidence and energy in the opening 18 minutes, but just a reminder there that Uruguay, who have made their way through to these semi-finals on the back of a resolute defensive performance, also have quite a lot of talent going forward. That's a ball trying to find the head of Darwin Núñez, and a powerful header by Carlos Cuesta, and then cleared up towards Cordova, who's just got a total away from Jimenez. They won't keep it though, Colombia. It's Valverde, laid off to Bentancur. Shrugs off James Rodriguez. But he won't do it again this time, and Rodriguez tries the early ball over the top for Cordova to chase. Bounces away from him and into the hands of Sergio Rochette. Game has just started to open up a little bit more. Valverde. Down the touchline. De la Cruz finds Bentancur. There's a blind pass up to the halfway line and easily prodded forward by Cuesta. Cordova to Arias. Flicks one wide to Daniel Munoz on the march again down the right-hand side, and again he's drawn the foul from Maxi Araujo. Araujo just was tugging and pulling at Daniel Munoz, and eventually Crystal Palace fullback said enough was enough. Set piece will be whipped in from this right-hand side as Daniel Munoz walks with intent towards the edge of the penalty area. Cuesta and Davinson Sanchez up into the penalty area. The two defenders will be interested in trying to get their head on this set piece. Both Davinson Sanchez and Jefferson Lerma have scored from set pieces in the tournament. They're in the penalty area again here. Rodriguez is standing over it, as is Arias. Should be the captain to whip it in from this right-hand side. Rodriguez left-footed, floats it towards the back post. Watched all the way into gloves of Sergio Rochette. And a problem here for Jose Maria Jimenez, who is down inside the penalty area. soon as his goalkeeper caught that, he immediately gestured to the referee that he needed some assistance. Chance for a number of the players to take on some fluids here in what is a warm evening in Charlotte, North Carolina. This time of year in the southeast of America can reach temperatures of over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So Mojica was splashing water all over his face to try and cool himself down. So looks like we are able to get back underway with the ball in the hands of Rochette. It's 32 degrees Celsius in Charlotte, North Carolina this evening with 50% humidity. A tough evening to play football in. And we're only 20 minutes into the first half. Here's De La Cruz, turns away well from Rios, and De La Cruz will try and squeeze it wide to Pedestri, who got a march on Mojica, and it's fizzed across the face of goal. The loose ball by Darwin Núñez, who bellows to the skies in frustration. Another one wide. That was untidy from Mojica. Just allowed a bit of space in behind him for Darwin Núñez to occupy. The quick-heeled Facundo Pedestri is something to worry about for the attack-minded Mojica. Forward from Sanchez, looking for Cordoba, nods it down well to Arias, and now wide to the right for Rodriguez. Into midfield for Munoz. And now Rios to Rodriguez, into the centre circle for Lerma. Diaz, back to Jefferson Lerma, now left-hand side Mojica. Diaz will try and open his body up and turn in the centre and flick one out wide to the right-hand side. It's an acrobatic leap and nodded down by Juan Arias, caught in possession, dawdling a little bit there. James Rodriguez, as here comes Bentancur with a powerful run, surging forward for Uruguay. Rios with a little shoulder barge, wins it back fairly, says the referee, and Rios now dances forward, tried to snip it beyond Fede Valverde, who gets in the way, and the ball was into the path of Uruguay. One on the halfway line, the free kick. Slow start from Uruguay, but they're growing into the game now. De La Cruz and Pedestri, the two young stars of this Uruguay side. Ball down the left-hand side. De La Cruz 27, Pedestri 22. De La Cruz relatively inexperienced on the international stage, just 30 caps, but an exciting prospect here for Uruguay. So ball curled down the touchline by Caceres, finds the head of Pedestri, arm in arm with Mojica, and Pedestri's got the better of him. Mojica trying to get back at him, and as Valverde arrives in support. Round the outside, Lerma tries to get in the way of Caceres' cross. It's deep towards the back post on the volley. Darwin Núñez just loops it high into the night sky, drops into the penalty area, taken down by Mojica, who bundles his way out towards the left-hand side and finds Luis Diaz, who skips infield. He's been stripped of it by Caceres. Uruguay on the halfway line with Valverde, De La Cruz. Rios in the way, finds Arias. Araujo tracking him. Advantage given to Colombia. Two flying into the to challenge Arias. It's with Munoz on the right-hand side. Infield again to Rios, who has De La Cruz slapping in with a challenge. And two players now on the deck. Richard Rios, one of them. And the referee will blow the whistle and show the first yellow card of the game. Just wandering across to the near side, Cesar Ramos. And I think that's been shown to Sebastian Caceres. Uruguay trying to clear that up. It was a poor challenge from Nicolas de la Cruz, but I think it was the advantage. It's somewhat confusing from Cesar Ramos, the referee. Hasn't been made clear who the yellow card has been shown to. It's an important detail, and we'll try and clear it up. I think it's confirmation there that it is de la Cruz that has been shown the first booking of the yellow card of the game by Cesar Ramos. 25 minutes on the clock. Past the halfway point in the first 45. Colombia with the free kick, wide on the right-hand side, 10 or 15 yards into Uruguay territory. Problem here for Rodrigo Bentancur. He's started well, brought into the side by Marcelo Bielsa, and he's not moving well here, hobbling around the middle of the playing surface at the Bank of America Stadium, and looks like he's trying to convince himself that he can soldier through. We'll keep an eye on him as he takes up his defensive position inside the penalty area, trying to jog there. It's Munoz and James Rodriguez. 40 yards from goal this time, but wide on this right-hand side. Opportunities to get the angle and whip it in towards the heads on the far side. It's Rodriguez's delivery, low and flat to the edge of the box, and chested down by Darwin Nunes, who starts to surge his way forward and finds a pass to the left-hand side for Maxi Araujo. Tries to clip one forward towards Darwin Nunes. He's got his way past Mojica and just curls it wide. It was a cute little touch into a bit of space past Johan Mojica on the cover. A delicate little flick of the heels from Darwin Nunes to set himself up with another glorious chance, which again he puts wide. Can't believe his luck. It's such a familiar sight though. Darwin Nunes on his haunches, having let a really good chance go begging. Long downfield from Sanchez. Cordova challenging for the ball. Advantage is Uruguay's as Bentancur looks a little bit better now as he tries to flick that out towards the far side for De La Cruz, who was adjudged to have handballed that by the referee. Arias was in close attendance. He immediately turned and waved his hands at the referee. Richard Rios standing over the set piece, just a couple of steps away from the halfway line. Bentancur, I did say he was moving a little bit better, still not comfortably though. It's Rios in the centre circle for Colombia. Now Cuesta strides into Uruguay's half of the pitch, laid off to his left to Mojica. Mixed bag so far for the Colombia left back, and possession given away on the halfway line. They were dithering there, Colombia, and Penistri's got there, but he won't keep it in play. Once again, space opened up behind Johan Mojica. There's a problem. I understand now. Jose Maria Jimenez in the penalty area during the corner as Jimenez went to ground. We mentioned it. We saw just before the corner kick was taken, Jimenez tickling, stroking the side of Davinson Sanchez's head, and there was no clear angle of it, but there is a suggestion that Davinson Sanchez has just hit out at Jimenez as the ball is being played in. So I'll repeat that it's not clear. The images do suggest a maybe intentional, potentially intentional move of the right arm of Sanchez as they were battling for space and supremacy inside the penalty area. In from Oliveira to De La Cruz. Back to Jimenez. Now Caceres. Into the centre circle for Bentancur. In a tangle with Jefferson Lerma, who got that one wrong. Usually a very neat and tidy player in the heart of midfield for Colombia. It's on the edge of the centre circle, inside the Uruguay half. It's Forward from Jimenez to De La Cruz. Laid off. Caceres will stride past one challenge and then flick it to his left-hand side. Forward towards Maxi Araujo from Oliveira. It was a strong challenge, to say the least. The yellow card's quickly been pulled out and it's been shown to Daniel Munoz, and he can't believe it. Smiling sarcastically at the referee. And, well, he needs to be careful here that he doesn't talk himself into a quick second. He did come flying in almost off the deck, Daniel Munoz. Does get a clear touch on the ball, but he's absolutely cleaned his man out in the process. Araujo has been on the receiving end of some physical treatment, some robust challenges across the course of the Copa America 2024, and that one can be counted amongst them. De La Cruz, right-footed from this left-hand side, 40 yards from goal, will whip one deep into the 6-yard box, straight into the waiting arms of Camilo Vargas. There is a breeze swirling around the stadium this evening. It's catching a few of these set pieces, which haven't been quite up to the standard that we come to expect from the likes of James Rodriguez and Nicolas De La Cruz. Munoz. Laid off to Sanchez. Across to Cuesta. Forward into midfield, Jefferson Lerma. To his right, Sanchez will wander 5 yards forward and now float one downfield, looking for John Cordoba. It's off the head of Jimenez, and that's kept in play on this right-hand side by James Rodriguez. Tries to steer it towards Juan Arias, intercepted though there. It's well watched by Fede Valverde. Peristri comes in off the far side, and it bounced off Jefferson Lerma. Uruguay maintained possession. Bentancur to Valverde. Now Jimenez. Bentancur is, well, he's just gestured to the bench. He's shaking his head, and he's just trying to set off on another jog there and decided he had to stop. It's Jimenez on the left-hand side of the penalty area. It's Oliveira who's bundled off the ball. Throwing taken quickly by Arias. Rodriguez kills it in towards Cordoba, who's put it wide of the near post. Powerful header from John Cordoba. Couldn't get it on target. As Uruguay were distracted by the hobbling Rodrigo Bentancur, Colombian got on with it very quickly. James Rodriguez with a trademark ball whipped in towards the penalty spot. Cordoba rises high and makes really good contact, but he can't put it beyond Sergio Rochette. Instead, it's beyond the post. There's been 3 wonderful chances for Darwin Núñez. Now one for John Cordoba, who would have hoped to have put Colombia in the lead there. Well, it was the challenge as he came flying in with Matías Oliveira, sandwiched Arias, that did the damage, and Rodrigo Bentancur is now hobbling off, being consoled by his teammates. You don't like to see it. He will certainly be a concern should Uruguay reach the Copa America final, whether he will be available. He's been a fantastic servant to Uruguay in this tournament. He's going to be replaced by Guillermo Varela, of Flamengo. Goalkeeper is taking his time. Rochette, Cordoba got a touch to the ball, and well, it will be a throw-in. Oh, that's not nice to see. Rodrigo Bentancur in tears on the bench. Uruguay with a throw, tossed in down the touchline, toe to it from Rios. Ball with Darwin Núñez, who tries the early crossfield pass towards Maxi Araujo. Loose touch, it's given straight away to Daniel Munoz, who is close down by De La Cruz as he made his way to the halfway line. So it's forward from Sanchez. Rios Laid off by Diaz. Back to Rios. Caught an error on the arm there from De La Cruz, did he? He's gone down clutching his midriff as if he has, as Sanchez plays on. The referee tells Colombia to continue, but there is no foul. Do not put it out of play. No treatment required for Richard Rios. Here is Davinson Sanchez. Strides past two in a heartbeat. Just starts to go forward, does the big Colombian centre-half. Trying to slip it between the legs of Nahuel Molina, who will concede the throw-in. Well, that's all it takes from Colombia to just make more ground. Davinson Sanchez took a risk. Squeezed past two, ghosted past another, and suddenly Colombia are deep inside Uruguayan territory with Daniel Munoz with the ball in his hand, ready to take the throw. Into Rios near the corner flag, trying to shake off Oliveira. They'll get another chance here, Colombia, from the throw. Oliveira with the last touch. Daniel Munoz wanders on and collects the ball again. Tossed into the edge of the penalty area, held up well by Arias. And then the early first-time ball from Richard Rios is towards the back stick. Luis Diaz will battle for possession, and he emerges with it on the edge of the penalty area. Stab back into midfield. Lerma to his left. Mojica pulled back by Facundo Peristri. This time it's Mojica's turn to win a free kick deep inside the opposition's territory. Peristri's been a thorn in his side all evening, and it's Mojica's turn to return the favour. Just had his legs taken out from under him as Peristri was wrong-footed by the swift change of weights from the Osasuna left-back. James Rodriguez has shown very recently what he can do from this kind of position. Has Cordoba to aim for. Arias is also an option from the set piece. Level with the edge of the penalty area, a couple of steps away from the left-hand side. Plenty of bodies crowd around the penalty spot. Will it be Rodriguez to deliver, or Arias? It is Rodriguez, floated into the 6-yard line. Almost found the head of Jefferson Lerma. Got a touch off a Uruguay body on the way through as Luis Diaz trots to this near side to come and get the ball for Colombia. Just stepped up a gear as we head towards the half-time break. By my watch, we've got 7 minutes left. An even contest so far. Uruguay will probably feel like they've had the better of the half with those 3 chances from Darwin Nunes, but Colombia coming again here is an attacking force as Richard Rios wins his side a corner kick. James Rodriguez again from the set piece, from the corner kick from this Colombian right. Deep towards the back post, there's the header, and it's beaten the goalkeeper at his near post, and it's Jefferson Lerma again from a set piece, from the header for Colombia. The Crystal Palace midfielder draws level with his club teammate in the tournament for goals and puts Colombia in the lead. Rochette was flapping at his far near post. It was floated by James Rodriguez as Jefferson Lerma towered above Jimenez, knocks it down into the ground and beyond Sergio Rochette, who couldn't adjust in time. And Colombia have the lead. That's James Rodriguez's 6th assist of the tournament. Uruguay, wow, those chances come back to bite them. Darwin Nunes, so hit and miss, had a dreadful end to the season with Liverpool as they slipped from title contention. Uruguay slipping from Copa America contention here with 5 minutes left until half-time. Rachet launches one. That flicks off the head of Araujo. Out of play, the throw-in will be Colombia's. Bielsa looks frustrated as Daniel Munoz juggles the ball before throwing this in. An awkward attempted clearance from Richard Rios has skewed out of play for a Uruguay throw down their left flank. Tossed towards the halfway line. Ugarte can turn and turns it back to Caceres. That's when the momentum looked like it was with Uruguay. Colombia turning on his head, forward, down the right-hand side. De la Cruz holds it up well. It's prodded forward by Varela. Couldn't find a teammate. Colombia with a throw. On their left-hand side, tossed in by Mojica. Long clearance down the left-hand side. Cordoba again is going to challenge for it. They're not making anything easy for this Uruguay defence to deal with. The physical presence of the Krasnodar forward is particularly effective this evening. Uruguay try and get downfield quickly. Mojica this time has done well up against Peristri, who for a moment looked like he was going to go down clutching his face. Mojica stuck to his task well and just shepherded out of play for a goal kick. Camilo Vargas will take the goal kick from the edge of his 6-yard line, and he'll take as much time doing it as possible. Cordoba, a target downfield. There's Vargas, who applies his trades at Atlas in Mexico. Hammers one downfield. Cordoba won't win it. Free kick, excuse me. Free kick will be Uruguay's. The referee blows the whistle. Jimenez beaten by Lerma for the opener. That's, well, quite the feat in itself. Shifted by Caceres out to this left-hand side, and he was sprinting to get back was Matias Oliveira, but he couldn't. So Colombia with the throw-in, and Marcelo Bielsa appeals for calm amongst his players. Daniel Munoz will take the throw-in for Colombia. Just inside Uruguay territory down the right-hand side. Munoz winds up a long one, tossed down the touchline. Cordoba will win another throw-in for Colombia. Place it against the Uruguay captain Jimenez. Munoz wanders forward. 90 seconds left of the first 45. Tossed in by Munoz to Arias. Munoz picks it up. Munoz sets it up. The stab towards goal by Richard Rios. Saved at the near post by Sergio Rochet. That should have been the second for Colombia. Snatched at the chance, did Richard Rios. Another indication of Daniel Munoz's talents as an attacking threat. Lifted towards the back post by James Rodriguez. Mojica just couldn't take it down. Munoz did so well. Well, it looked like Arias was getting bogged down. He stepped in and surged into the penalty area. Sets up Richard Rios with a little snapshot. He's done really well, Sergio Rochet, down to his left quickly. Diaz will collect the ball off of Munoz. Diaz down this right-hand side, infield to Munoz. Rodriguez lays it off to Richard Rios. Now down the touchline again is Munoz. Rios, early ball to the edge of the penalty area. Arias was there, but so was Jimenez for Uruguay. De la Cruz trying to get out for Uruguay with Darwin Núñez too. A bit of pushing and shoving, and the chance for tempers to start to get a little bit frayed. And there's an elbow thrown out by Daniel Munoz. The referee is got a lot of work to do here. Daniel Munoz is just trying to show that he's been caught in the ribs, but I think he may have caught someone in the process as well. It's Manuel Ugarte who's on the deck. Munoz may be in trouble here. That's going to be a red card. That's almost certainly going to be a red card for Daniel Munoz. Manuel Ugarte was on his shoulder, in his ear, and Munoz reacted angrily, thrust out a elbow into the midriff of Manuel Ugarte. Now Carlos Alde Ruiz will be having a look at this, the video assistant referee. And the yellow card has been shown to Daniel Munoz. The second yellow card, and the Crystal Palace fullback has been sent off. Munoz pleading his case. The Colombia manager, Nestor Lorenzo, is in the ear of the fourth official. They have the lead, but they're down to 10. Munoz dismissed. Wasn't told to go and look at the screen at all. It's an interesting one. The second one, certainly a yellow card. The first, potentially not. But Daniel Munoz has caused himself all of these problems this evening. He's been playing so wonderfully, but it's going to end in disgrace here. An angry reaction. It was just what Manuel Ugarte was looking for. And Munoz will stroll off. As we're into time added on at the end of the first half. He's an all-action player. And this is going to be very tough now for Colombia to hold on for 45 minutes. A reminder, if they are all square at the end of the 90, we will go straight to penalties. He can have no complaints, Daniel Munoz. Needs to keep his head at a crucial moment and didn't. Uruguay will have a free kick inside their own half of the pitch. It's all academic. Nestor Lorenzo, we aren't allowed to get underway yet before the fourth official finishes having a word with the Colombian manager. You can sense tempers are still frayed amongst the players that remain on the pitch, and Daniel Munoz, it's just starting to sink in what's happened. Even if Colombia do come out the other end of this and make it to the final, they'll be significantly weakened without Munoz, who's been such a star of the tournament for them. We'll try and defy the odds here with Cordoba on the halfway line, who goes past Ugarte. Now tries to hold off Oliveira. Ball to the left-hand side for Luis Diaz. Diaz twisting and turning into the box. Diaz plays that against Varela. The corner kick will be at Colombia's from the left-hand side. Ball will be whipped in from the far side. You wonder how many bodies Colombia will continue to commit to these opportunities now. Rodriguez towards the near post, away by Nunez. Back into the box. Cordoba will try and spin on it. It was dropping to him from Cuesta, pulled back low by Cordoba to Diaz. Tries to squeeze one towards goal, deflection, almost carried it beyond Rochette, who had to stretch but claimed that under a bit of pressure as well from Arias. Uruguay tried to set off on the counter. Won't be allowed to by Cesar Ramos, who blows the half-time whistle. And immediately Luis Diaz is in the face of the official. Controversy potentially in the process that saw Daniel Munoz sent off, but there can really be no argument. The first yellow card, maybe, potentially, there could have been a leniency shown by Cesar Ramos, but the second, the elbow thrust into the midriff of Manuel Ugarte, well, there was no arguments to be had, and I'm fairly certain once the Colombia players have seen these incidents they'll realise that Daniel Munoz has caused them a real problem. He owes them a real debt of gratitude if Colombia are to qualify. It's a mixed bag for Nestor Lorenzo's side at half-time. They have the lead, but they have a man disadvantage. Marcelo Bielsa will do everything he can to take advantage of that in the second half. Half-time at the Bank of America Stadium in the semi-final of the Copa America. It's Colombia 1, Uruguay 0. Colombia now down to 10. Join us in 15 minutes' time. Colombia into a lead just before half-time, but it went from great to awful for Colombia in a heartbeat as Daniel Munoz reacted angrily to Manuel Ugarte being up close and personal to him. Thrust out an elbow, and after already receiving a booking for a hefty challenge in the first half on Maxi Araujo, he was shown a second yellow on review by Cesar Ramos on the advice of the VAR Carlos Ulbe Ruiz. Changes at half-time for both of these two sides. We'll talk you through them as the opening stages of the half progresses, and it is underway in Charlotte, North Carolina. Colombia now playing with just 10 men, but they have the advantage. The question is, how long can they hold Uruguay at bay? Now given a bit of licence, the Uruguayans, to throw everything they can towards getting the equaliser and the potential winner. It's clipped into the box by De La Cruz, but it's a foul on Vallica by one of the changes, one of the new men. It's Christian Oliveira that's come on alongside Georgiana the Alascaita. Players just thrown on by Marcelo Bielsa at half-time to go and get this goal they need. They have a date with Argentina as his country of origin, the Uruguayan manager, as far as he's concerned, and nothing's going to stop them from getting there. Colombia, though, will do everything they can to dig in and provide as much resistance as possible. They too have made a change. I'm not entirely sure which what has taken place in the substitutes there for Colombia. We can confirm them now. Is Georgiana Alascaita has replaced Mateus Oliveira, and Christian Oliveira replaced Facundo Peristri. And for Colombia, Arias has gone off. And the news that we've been given is that Alascaita has come on, but that's all clearly incorrect from the officials. We'll try and clear that up as soon as possible. Here are Uruguay on the front foot, as you would expect, down the left-hand side. Corner of the penalty area, De La Cruz spins it backwards. Early ball into the penalty area, and that's prodded away by Davinson Sanchez. Early ball down the left-hand side from James Rodriguez. Luis Diaz isn't going to collect that. Rodrigo Bentancur's injury rows continue. He was replaced by Guillermo Varela in the first half, so 3 new players on for Uruguay. 3 changes to the starting 11. Ball low into the penalty area. Darwin Núñez gets a toe to it, but can't control, and it's shuffled clear by Colombia. Down the right flank from Richard Rios. Won't find John Cordoba. So here are Uruguay again. To the right-hand side. In from Christian Oliveira. To Ugarte. Jimenez, forward from the edge of the centre circle. Valverde, backwards. Infield from Varela. De La Cruz, down the right-hand side. Shuffled infield from Oliveira. Ugarte does well. De La Cruz again with the cushion pass to Valverde. Ugarte this time can face goal and face the penalty area and try and loop one towards the back post, where Araujo has just snuck beyond the Colombia defence. The ball was out of play in the end, a little bit too much on it. And of course, as you'd expect, Camilo Vargas in no rush at the moment. Oliveira has come on at half-time, along with De Alascaita for Uruguay. There they are again, Uruguay, pressing down the left-hand side. It's slipped out wide here. So Uruguay continue to work it. Valverde, corner of the penalty area, round the corner, across the face of goal. There's too much on the attempted cross from Maxi Araujo, and that'll loop behind for a goal kick. But after only 5 minutes of the second half, you can see how this pattern will set itself out now. It's Santiago Arias that's come on to replace John Arias. So the attacking intents of Arias have been sacrificed for defensive cover in the form of the Bahia fullback. All the way through, Luis Diaz almost burst past Jimenez to latch onto a speculative long ball into the Uruguay penalty area. And Colombia will have a set piece. If they are to get a second, this is going to be their only real route, or on the counter, as they've just seen with Luis Diaz. Rodriguez to deliver from the left-hand side, curls one. Deep towards the back post, not it down, it was a free header from Cordoba. He just couldn't get decent contact just in front of Jefferson Lerma. Probably should have left it to the Crystal Palace midfielder. There was 3 of them, all totally unmarked. They might have an extra man, Uruguay, but still, Colombia will pose a threat. That's poor pass from Valverde for his lofty standards at least. Trying to slip it through towards the Arrasqueta. Ball now with Vargas. It's a long one downfield to Cordoba, who can't win it. It's work from the Uruguay defence to get above him. Mojica and James Rodriguez converge to at least slow Uruguay progress. It will be a free kick, which is taken short to Caceres. Now taken off of him by De La Cruz for Uruguay, who starts to float through the centre circle and spins one out to the right-hand side. It's a good ball for Christian Oliveira, darting down the right-hand side and gets past Mojica into the 6-yard line. Lifted away by Davinson Sanchez. Pretty comfortable for the former Tottenham man. Tossed in quickly by Uruguay. Laid off by Oliveira. Into Varela. Across from Ugarte. Valverde. And that's over the top of Mojica's head and had a play for a goal kick. Uruguay need to stay patient. Already signs of frustration. Marcelo Bielsa trying to encourage his players to press high into the Colombia half. He wants them to go for the jugular. He wants them to assert their dominance in the game. As Vargas waves his defenders forward, the referee waves at Vargas to get on with the goal kick. It's another long one downfield. Cordoba jumps forward. Instead, it will skip off the head of De La Cruz and drop to Luis Diaz, who just floats his way across the field of play and lays it off to Rios. Down the right-hand side. So, battling down the right-hand side. Rios showing off all his tricks to keep the ball for Colombia. Arias, the replacement fullback, just overran that straight into Jimenez, but it drops again to Rios, who's found a bit of space. Another little trick near the corner flag. 2-3 shirts. It's a lunging challenge. He's been left in a heap, Richard Rios, near the corner flag on the far side as Uruguay play their way out of defence. Rios has stayed down. The referee blows the whistle for a foul by James Rodriguez on Maxi Araujo. And we'll have a little look at the problem for Richard Rios. Doesn't seem to be too much in it, in fact. And I think he was hoping rather than expecting a free kick. It's going to be a gritty second half for Colombia. Cesar Ramos has wandered over to the corner flag to check on Richard Rios, and he's satisfied. Cesar Ramos, he's blown the whistle, and He's happy to let play to continue. Rios still on the deck, and he needs to get back to his feet because Uruguay are trying to fashion another goal-scoring opportunity. De Arrascaeta ran into a challenge, and James Rodriguez is not happy with the referee, and he's going to be shown the yellow card, the Colombia captain. You can understand the Los Cafeteros skipper's frustrations here with Cesar Ramos, who hasn't managed the situation particularly effectively. Understandably, he believes that Richard Rios is in no danger of significant injury and that there was no problem. But Rios stayed down. The referee came across and checked on him, and as play continued, Rios remained near the corner flag and indicated to the bench that he had to come off, in fact. And James Rodriguez was incensed by the referee's management of the situation. The yellow card shown to him, met by a sarcastic smile. And the Colombia medical team have been waved on to check on Richard Rios. It's a fiery, feisty clash at the Bank of America Stadium. And the referee now has wandered over as the Colombia medical team continue to treat Richard Rios. And I wonder if the referee thinks he's still trying to con him here. Richard Rios is telling the referee exactly what he thinks about it. Still just the one goal in it, that of Jefferson Lerma at the far post from a corner kick. Uruguay have been dominating possession this second half, as you would expect with the extra man. It's a fascinating story. Santi Arras, who has come on as a replacement for the sent-off Daniel Munoz. John Arias sacrificed. He's the best fullback in the Eredivisie, Salto Atletico, and then broke his leg in 2020. Almost couldn't return to football. But here he is back on the grandest stage of all in the Copa America with a huge task at hand. And James Rodriguez still pursuing the referee, and he's at risk here of joining Daniel Munoz back in the dressing room if he doesn't calm himself down. Rios back onto the field of play after treatment, and steep in conversation with Maxi Araujo. Vargas, that's flicked on by James Rodriguez. Uruguay have won it back. Flying forward comes Cuesta, out to the left-hand side looking for Cordoba. Now James Rodriguez goes lunging in, and the referee's whistle has been blown. Rodriguez with another bite after the whistle was blown at Sugarte. And Richard Rios is now down inside the centre circle. He can't continue, it seems. And this could very well cause Cesar Ramos some serious blushes here. He didn't manage the situation particularly well. It was rather dismissive the way he treated Richard Rios. And suddenly the game has descended into a little bit of farce as Richard Rios tries to make his point to the referee, who tried to make his point to Richard Rios a few moments ago. There's no indication that the challenge should have caused Richard Rios any problems. It's a bit of a sideshow. It was at a moment where he was sparkling. He is a bag of tricks, Richard Rios. and a prolonged delay as the Colombian medical staff are back on and working on Richard Rios, and Néstor Lorenzo has prepared a change. Well, we're heading towards the 60-minute mark. We haven't seen much in this second half to really excite Uruguay. We're really concerned Colombia for that case. Cesar Ramos tries to get things moving a bit quicker, but Colombia, of course, will take as much time as possible. They've got a slender lead to defend with just 10 men. There's no football being played at the Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina at the moment. Just conversations between Uruguay players and the referee and Colombia players amongst themselves. Cesar Ramos is agreeing with the assessment of the situation by Jose Maria Jimenez. Of course, I can't lip read and I don't speak Spanish, but you can tell that the Uruguay players believe that there's nothing wrong at all with Richard Rios. As Mateus Uribe is going to come on. He played in the absence of Jefferson Lerma last time. We'll see another change too. As James Rodriguez is going to come off. And Kevin Castaño will trot on for Colombia. Rodriguez is walking a tightrope at the moment. I think that's been spotted by Néstor Lorenzo. He was losing his head, the Colombian captain. It's a very brave call by the manager to take off his #1 goal threat, his talisman, for Kevin Castaño. Colombia will try and offer some threat here with Diaz down the left-hand side. Attracts 3 Uruguay defenders across to try and win it back and refuses to be beaten. And he was persistent. It's out of play for a goal kick, but he reacts to that as if his side have just fashioned a goal-scoring opportunity. Spun out to the left-hand side by Jimenez. To Jimenez. Inside to Ugarte. To his left to Jimenez. Forward to the halfway line. Valverde in field. Ugarte. De Arrasqueta with the delicate backheel towards Nunes. It was a good challenge from the Colombians to win it back though. Long downfield for Córdoba, who spins away from Jimenez into the centre circle. Tries to feed Luis Diaz. That's a physical challenge and a yellow card's going to be quickly dished out here. With a smile as well to Guillermo Varela. Diaz got there first and spread his body in front of the substitute. Well, the cards are flowing quickly, and seems like James Rodriguez, as we said, was withdrawn because he was at risk of receiving another yellow card and potentially being suspended for the final should Colombia get there. But Uruguay too walking a bit of a tightrope. This is a set-piece opportunity for Colombia. And it's in by Diaz, low towards the edge of the penalty area. Easy for Uruguay to deal with. Prodded back towards the edge of the Uruguay box. Diaz just eased De La Cruz from underneath it. Here now is Ugarte. To his left. Carried forward by Federico Valverde. Fede Valverde back to Jose Maria Jimenez. Cross-city rivals, teammates this evening. Down the right-hand side for Christian Oliveira. Back to Varela. Inside to Caceres. Now Jimenez on the left-hand side of what looks like a back three for Uruguay at the moment. Ugarte tries to spray one down the left-hand side, and Darwin Nunes sets off in hot pursuit. It's going to bounce away from him and out of play for a goal kick to Colombia. You have to look back at that first half. 3 wonderful chances for Darwin Nunes. All of them put wide of the goal. Glorious opportunities going begging have become a bit of a feature of his career of late. Vargas with the long clearance from the free kick, the goal kick over the halfway line, off the knee of Jimenez into the centre circle. Flying through the air came Cuesta with the powerful header, and Sanchez now nods it down. Chasing after it, Colombia, but they won't win it back. It's Sanchez on the left-hand side. Nunes bundled past him. Arias tries to get back in. This is a good opportunity for Uruguay in the penalty area. Nunes at the near post, slams it towards goal. Saved well by Vargas. He was clearly offside, Darwin Nunes. Might have rattled the woodwork for a moment. Colombia were worried. Maxi Araujo got away down the left for Uruguay, who are making another change here. And a big moment with about 25 minutes of the 90 left. On trots, Luis Suarez. And am I seeing that right? He's going to try and play Darwin Nunes and Luis Suarez as the front two. He's withdrawn one of his substitutes, but who? We'll find out shortly. Luis Diaz does well to put Uruguay under pressure deep inside the defensive third. They'll have the throw-in from this right flank. Guillermo Varela was taken off by Marcelo Bielsa, who came on to replace Rodrigo Bentancur after he went down injured in the first half. He's been put in the book as well, Varela. Potentially, maybe that's Bielsa's thinking. It's on the left-hand side for Maxi Araujo into the penalty area. Luis Suarez does well to keep it alive for Uruguay, but he's been bundled away from the ball. Flying in there. Uruguay with a penalty shout. A doubtful one at least. Edge of the penalty area. De la Cruz. Low and tame and easily pounced on by the goalkeeper Vargas. I'll have a little look at this challenge in the penalty area. It was on Oliveira, Mojica and Jefferson Lerma, both slightly loose, slightly sloppy on the 6-yard line. We'll watch on in anticipation to see if Cesar Ramos makes any indication to say they're going to pull this back. Ugarte. Valverde tries to slip it down the outside. That's an unfortunate slip. It's clipped right across the face of goal. Arias thinks he's been fouled by Maxi Araujo. Looked to me like he just lost his footing. Santiago Arias. Desperate last 20 minutes or so now for both managers, who have been fixed to the edge of their technical areas. Long downfield. Good hold-up play by Diaz. Opportunity here to get it forward for Colombia. Lerma to Luis Diaz. That's a poor challenge from Jimenez. Late yellow card shown to Jimenez. Set piece from the halfway line for Colombia. It was cynical from Jimenez. Luis Diaz was about to burst past him, and well, there were plenty of players forward for Uruguay, but not too many back. The substitutes have come flying on the attacking reinforcements for La Celeste, but they're yet to produce the twist in the script. It's lifted up by Arias to the edge of the penalty area. The flag's gone up. But Cordoba gets himself back to his feet after a slightly awkward fall. Free kick taken quickly. Ugarte to his left. Here's Valverde. Forward on the left-hand side for Araujo. Back to the centre circle, Jimenez. To his right for Caceres. This is the first time in the tournament, really, that Colombia have had to really defend. They've made a mark in the Copa America by being all-out attack. De La Cruz round the corner, flicks it all the way towards the far side. Araujo, it's too hot for him to handle. It's out of play for a throw into Colombia. They're holding on for dear life here, Colombia. Uruguay with just 20 minutes left to salvage this. And so far, so comfortable for Colombia. That's a speculative ball down the right-hand side, and Cordoban's done really well. Slipped inside. It's a good pass for Uribe. Luis Diaz tries to sort his feet out, tried to be unselfish and get it back to Uribe. That's allowed De La Cruz to snap in and win it back for Uruguay inside the penalty area. Needed to be more ruthless there, Luis Diaz. Wasn't given enough time or space to pull the trigger, though. And here come Uruguay. Oliveira round the outside. Valverde, edge of the box. Luis Diaz off the outside of the post. Tried to hammer it into the top corner. Clips the woodwork. Uruguay's record goal scorer can't find a 69th goal. That's inches. This has been billed as his swan song. Now relatively on the periphery of the international team. Still a huge figure, but not trusted with starting. That's Darwin Núñez's berth. It's flicked backwards towards the edge of the penalty area. And Luis Diaz is still there, trying to feed off scraps. Colombia have given it away. It's round the outside, getting back well. Mojica gets it back to Vargas, who just scoops it towards the halfway line, off the thigh of De La Cruz. That's between the legs of Uribe, into the edge of the penalty area. Flicked away by Davinson Sanchez, drops here to Maxi Araujo. Edge of the penalty area, floated towards the back post. That's a poor ball towards De La Cruz by Luis Suarez. Shoulders are starting to slump. Just need one, Uruguay. One to keep their hopes and dreams alive. It's a mammoth effort that's been put in by Colombia, who are backed by a very loud and, well, obvious support. 95% yellow around the Bank of America Stadium this evening. So, ball down the left-hand side for Uruguay. Darwin Núñez. Touch from Davinson Sanchez. Corner kick will be Uruguay's. From the left, taken short. Diaz gets it towards the back post. That's a loose touch from Suarez. Wasn't expecting it to drop over the head of Cuesta. Could take it down 2 or 3 yards in front of goal. We were just saying that they hadn't quite produced anything to concern Colombia in the second half. Well, Luis Suarez's introduction has changed that. He's gone inches away from giving Uruguay the lead. And again, looks to be linking up well. It's poor clearance from Vargas. It's given straight to his opposite number. And Rochette will throw it to his left. Valverde down the left-hand side. Early ball from deep towards the back post. De La Cruz on the corner of the penalty area. Mojica follows him. Diaz 25 yards from goal. Wall of yellow shirts in front of him. Uribe follows it from Valverde to his left. Laid off. Valverde, edge of the penalty area, tries to roll it towards the bottom corner. Vargas was worried. Ball is wide. Colombia survive. It's not been a vintage goal-scoring year for Fede Valverde. That's not an attempt on target yet. Uruguay with scant few. John Cordoba is finally going to be hauled off. He's put in a real shift this evening for Colombia, and it's being appreciated by the significant Colombian support. It's extra defender thrown on in place of the forward. Yerry Mina comes on to shore up Colombia defensively for this final 15-minute stint. They'll surely be under siege, but Uruguay will have to do some defending as well. Luis Diaz can't keep that away from the Uruguay defence on their own edge of their own penalty area. Ugarte got the important touch, took a blow for his troubles as well. Jimenez got them back underway quickly. Here is Valverde wandering through the centre circle. Diaz, the closest Colombian to him. Wide from Ugarte to the right-hand side. Oliveira tries to ghost past Mojica. Does really well, Mojica, and keeps the ball too for Colombia. Tries to steer it forward. Tries to give it to Diaz, who will now be the lone body applying pressure downfield as Uruguay carry it forward again. Oliveira on the right, slipped inside to Valverde, laid off by Ugarte. Valverde to his left to Jimenez, left of centre inside the Colombia half. Down the left-hand side for Araujo. Now Munoz. Back to the halfway line. Forward from Jimenez to Ugarte. Slipped across. Suarez. De la Cruz, 25 yards from goal, level with the right-hand side of the penalty area. Suarez lets it run. Ugarte in by Valverde, off the chest of Munoz. Breaks down again. Lerma tries the long ball downfield. Luis Diaz chases after it. Sees Jimenez is going to get there first. And the Atletico Madrid centre-half peels out towards the left-hand side. Uruguay will come again. Slips it down the left-hand touchline for De Arrasqueta. Does Valverde. Ball breaks loose and ends up at the feet of Luis Suarez. Can't keep it. It's good defending from Cuesta, but Uruguay pick up the loose ball and loop it out to the right-hand side, taken down by De La Cruz, who tries to whip one into the penalty area. Deflection. Colombia did well. Luis Diaz can't hold it up. No free kick, says the referee either. Ball on the left-hand side. Maxi Araujo running at Arias to the byline. Araujo. Arias goes sliding in. Touch on the ball. He says goal kick. Araujo says corner kick. Referee agrees with Colombia. He's quite the replacement for Daniel Munoz. Santiago Arias, 32 years old, playing out his career at Bahia now, but, well, showing his quality and his experience there. James Rodriguez can barely watch on from the bench. Yes. Heaved forward by Vargas. Powerful header from Caceres. Loose ball picked up by Sanchez. And Uribe. Dispossessed by Munoz, doing the defending deep inside his own half, and now bursting forward, left of centre, through the Colombia half of the pitch. Munoz holds the ball up well on the edge of the penalty area, goes down too easily under the challenge of Davinson Sanchez, and Colombia get the ball out to the left-hand side for their danger man, their outlet, Luis Diaz, who's wrestling for it with Caceres and loses that battle. De La Cruz down the Uruguay right, tries to squeeze one into the path of Oliveira. Mojica gets tight to him and gets a toe to the ball. Oliveira bounces back to his feet. Mojica's won it again, near the byline. Twisting and turning. Spooned out towards the touchline by Cuesta. Will be a throw-in for Uruguay. In from De La Cruz to De Arrasqueta. Valverde on the edge of the centre circle. Valverde to his left to Jimenez. Early ball to the edge of the penalty area. And it wasn't going to find Luis Suarez. Yerry Mina says he's been clipped by the Uruguayan veteran. And I think there'll be a substitution as well. Referees just stop play for a moment as Yerry Mina refuses to be pulled back to his feet by Luis Suarez. Colombia fans surrounding that goal mouth, taking their opportunity to tell Luis Suarez. Has always been a controversial figure in football, shall we say, saying just what they think about him. It was it's an awkward tangle from Luis Suarez and Yerry Mina. I don't think there was any malice intended. Now at Cagliari, Mina spent time in the Premier League with Everton. Really shots of prominence in that World Cup campaign in 2018. Here is Vargas, the goalkeeper, with a long ball downfield. Diaz won't win it. Jimenez nods it down. Another one lifted over the top. Mojica does really well, just holding off Oliveira. As that's out of play for another Colombia throw. We're into the last 10 minutes of the 90. Johan Mojica to take the throw. We'll take a big old gulp of air first. Mojica towards the halfway line. Header one, Ugarte in front of Luis Diaz. Thrown in by Jimenez. Work down the left-hand side for De Arrascaeta. Shuffled by Valverde, back into the centre circle. Out to the right-hand side for De La Cruz, bit of space to pick his ball. Floats it cross-field, out to the left-hand side now. Infield from Araujo. Ball cleared by Colombia. Breaks here, though, to the edge of the penalty area. Cuesta finds Luis Diaz wide on the left. It was the pass from Lerma, in fact. Luis Diaz holds it up well and wins the throw-in too. Colombia look like they could pull this off. When they went down to 10 men, you worried for them. With 45 minutes, an entire half of football to play against a Uruguay side with some really exciting attacking talents. Well, they haven't shown what they can do, Uruguay, and Colombia are frustrating them as we tick ever closer to full time. Here with Jimenez on the edge of his own penalty area. Ball not where they want it, Uruguay. Forward down the right-hand side. Ugarte. And now scything forward he comes again. Valverde into the penalty area. Nunes and Oliveira got in each other's way. Vargas was sliding along the byline trying to prevent the corner kick. Didn't manage to. Yerry Mina is on, trying to gee up his colleagues as well as do his defensive work here too. So very tired legs in yellow, red and blue. De Arrascaeta into the 6-yard box. Powerful header from Mina. Wide again for De Arrascaeta. Curls one deep towards the back post. Over the head of Davinson Sanchez and Nunes. All the way to Suarez. Sanchez read it well. Suarez tried to chop past him. Off play of Sanchez for a throw. On the left-hand side for Uruguay. Tossed in. Valverde. De La Cruz. De Arrascaeta. Curls one in towards the 6-yard line. Flicked away by Mina. Into the Uruguay half. Shuffled to his left by Caceres. Jimenez gets it off the goalkeeper. Find their way into Colombia territory through De Arrascaeta. To his left to Ugarte. Now Valverde. Pressed by Uribe. Valverde trying to unlock this stubborn Colombia defence. Valverde wide on the right. A huge crowd of yellow shirts inside the penalty area. They'll try and shoot from distance. That looked like it came off the skater. Ugarte from 30 yards. Referee says that'll be a corner. No protest from Colombia. The skater from the right-hand side. To deliver. Into the near post. Header from Jimenez. Wide. Another chance goes begging. A half chance, though, to be fair to Jose Maria Jimenez. Luis Suarez and Yerry Mina engaged in a war of words. The pair of them. Suarez, no stranger to controversy, and happy to try and get in the head of his opponent. At the moment, it seems like Yerry Mina's winning that particular battle, as Luis Diaz will trot off for a well-earned rest. And one Premier League Luis replaces another, as Luis Sinisterra of Bournemouth will come on for, by my watch, is the last 4 minutes of the 90, and whatever is added on by the officials. Vargas. It's a high ball. He was looking for a rebate. It's flying forward from Uruguay, and round the outside comes Araujo. Arias got his body in the way. And another goal kick for Camilo Vargas. Another chance for Colombia, just waste a few more seconds. All the reinforcements on now for Uruguay. All the defensive reinforcements on now for Colombia. Another long clearance from Vargas, this time down the left-hand side. Over the head of Sinisterra, who stretched but couldn't get a toe to it. Caceres. Sinisterra is going to drop. It's going to drop to him off the goalkeeper, and it could be curtains here. It's not finished by Mateus Uribe. That would have been it the moment they progressed. But still, Uruguay have hope. Sloppy play almost gave Colombia the win on a plate. Forward from De La Cruz to the edge of the penalty area. Mojica does really well against Oliveira. Mojica still trying to fight him off. Finds Yerry Mina. Heaved forward. Sinisterra trying to chase. Jimenez to Caceres. De La Cruz is hobbling around now for Uruguay. Looped one into the centre circle. Chucks his way forward. Down the left-hand side comes the skater. Inside to Ugarte. Shuffle to Valverde. Round the outside. Here comes De La Cruz. Edge of the penalty area. Ugarte. Corner of the box on the left. Suarez into the box. Stamped away by Mojica. Headed forward by Arias. Davinson Sanchez. Nodded down by the skater. Flicked round the corner by Munoz. To find Suarez. Edge of the box. Pulls the trigger. Straight into the gloves of Camilo Vargas. Comfortable for him at his near post. From Maxi Araujo. Uruguay running out of ideas now. Mateus Uribe had the chance to seal it. If Uruguay do find an equaliser in the closing stages here, Mateus Uribe will feel horrible. Colombia with a 27-match unbeaten streak to try and maintain. Could they make it 28? change here for Uruguay. Agustin Conalbio has come on to replace Nicolas de la Cruz, the Paranense winger. He's not got much time to make an impact. That's good work from Mojica. Deep inside Uruguay territory. It's been given away, and that's good work though by Colombia to get it back. Uribe pressing to Arrascaeta. Uruguay in their own half. That's been taken away on that left-hand side. 7 minutes of time will be added on. It's Castaño doing well in the centre circle. Forward to Sinisterra. Now Mojica. Sinisterra with three around him. Couldn't squeeze it past him. So Uruguay back in possession. Ugarte to Arrascaeta. Shuffles it to the left-hand side. Here's Araujo. Well watched by Davinson Sanchez. Had to watch carefully, and he'll stride down the right-hand side for Colombia now. Up to the halfway line and shifts it past one. And then another. And lays it off to Uribe. And now Castaño. Sanchez through the middle, trying to flick it back out to Sinisterra. That was the idea, at least. It's thrown on, and Jimenez sprays it wide. Valverde tries to pierce it through the back line, laid off. It was a loose touch from Cuesta, latched onto by Oliveira, but they've managed to sort themselves out. Colombia into the penalty area. It was a heavy touch from Agustin Conalbio, and allowed Vargas to collect it at his feet. Just ghosted him behind. He's only been on the pitch a matter of seconds. Colombia haven't worked out who's marking him. Heaved through the North Carolina night sky by Vargas. Sinisterra will win it, will flick it down straight to the feet of Caceres. Forward to Jimenez. Jimenez lifts it to his right. Fede Valverde slips inside. Three in front of him. Valverde in behind. Nunes lays it off. Arrascaeta. Is that tipped over the bar by Vargas? He thinks it was. Uruguay wants a corner. They've had plenty of chances, Uruguay. Arrascaeta denied by Vargas. I'm not sure it was spotted by the officials. It's a very big save from Camilo Vargas, who's really not been called into action too often. Been pretty comfortable. The saves he have been made to have been asked to make. Vargas with the free kick inside his penalty area. We'll tick towards the 93-minute mark. 4 left of time added on. Jimenez's powerful header. Nunes tracing back. And here comes Castaño, who's been caught, and that'll be a free kick for Colombia. It's deep inside Uruguay territory. It's just where they want the ball. I think Cesar Ramos is just throwing another yellow card. Ugarte wasn't happy. So he fouled his opposite number, Kevin Castaño. Marcelo Bielsa starting to look resigned to the fact that this might not be his side's night. Castaño's over the ball. 40 yards from goal. I'm not sure Colombia even care where it is. They'll just try and get it as close to the corner flag and keep it there for as long as possible. Sinisterra does well, and he's held it up well. And that slipped into his path. Sinisterra, this time surely! Uribe, he's saved! And onto the bar! Rochet with a superb save onto the crossbar. Uruguay will try and counter-attack here. With the Arrascaeta. Ugarte. Still within their reach here, Uruguay. Edge of the penalty area. Jimenez 25 yards from goal. Flicked across to Valverde. Down the left-hand side. into the penalty area. Jimenez was arriving and couldn't get it on target. It's wide. Appealing to the referee for something. His eyes must have lit up. Matias Uribe missed one. A second chance. Just a flick off the thigh from Sergio Rochet was enough to keep Uruguay alive. 2 minutes remain. For a side playing with just 10 players, Colombia are showing such confidence here. Mario Escobar's got his hands full trying to keep all of the Colombian substitutes from the touchline. 90 seconds remain. Colombia with the set piece, Colombia with the ball. Kevin Castaño will take it. Waste a bit of time as he complains about Agustin Canobbio being in the wrong position, being too close to him. He's been shown the yellow card, Kevin Castaño. Takes it on the chin, takes it for the team. Castaño with a little back heel to Mojica, caught in possession by Oliveira. That wasn't to the plan. Here comes Canobbio, little tug back at his shirt from Cuesta, who's going to be shown the yellow card. Knew exactly what he was doing there. Colombia get bodies back. Wide on this right-hand side with Canobbio. Down the touchline for Oliveira. Suarez cushions it down for Canobbio. Round the outside. Mojica holds him off well. Holds it on the byline. Canobbio battling for it. It's been given as a corner for Uruguay. 30 seconds remain. If they're going to do it, it has to be now. And well, Sergio Rochet's been waved forward. The goalkeeper's going to get into the penalty area for this corner. Diarasqueta into the penalty area. Header planted out of play. Time nearly up. Uruguay into the penalty area. It's given away by the goalkeeper inside their own half. Will they try and shoot from inside the Colombia half? It was Jefferson Lerma trying to beat the retreating Sergio Rochet. Will Uruguay have time to try and fashion one last foray forward? James Rodriguez is in tears on the touchline, but Colombia have held firm all the way through to the final whistle. The red card to Daniel Munoz, but a speed bump on their route to the final. There are tears. Overcome with emotion, the Colombia players out on their feet, out on the pitch of the Bank of America Stadium. Jefferson Lerma's goal is all that will separate Uruguay. Colombia set themselves up for a massive final with Argentina on Sunday with a quite remarkable performance. Tempers are fraying after the final whistle here. Uruguay disappointed and incensed as well. There's pushing and shoving, and suddenly it's getting very scrappy, very feisty. But Colombia will prepare for a final. Uruguay will head home. It looks like that will be the final chapter of a wonderful career for Luis Suarez, who came close, who rattled the woodwork after coming on as a substitute with around 20 minutes left. You'd call it a backs to the wall job from Colombia.